Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I'm back with these quick little 3 prophetic messages that I received. And keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now to some of you guys, and it could be, going all the way up into Palm Sunday is what I get it. But I really feel like these energies are starting to take place around about this new moon time. But anyway, so with that being said, let's get straight into the message. So the first message that I received was there will be a situation. This message is not for all, but this message could be for some. There was a situation that I saw, well, not saw, that I felt in the dream as I woke up, because it kind of startled me, because it was almost like being like a situation of somebody being hit from behind with a car, in a sense, like they were like being in a car and being hit from behind, having an impact of a car hitting someone from behind. So I felt that in the dream because I woke up and it kind of startled me in a sense. So I just want to let you guys to know to just be mindful during this weekend and even leading up to like Palm Sunday. I don't even know why I keep saying that, but obviously it's an energy. Thank you, Spirit. Obviously, this is something that, you guys gonna want to be aware of. But anyway, so, thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we got little things and events that's kind of happening around about this time frame, leading all the way up into Palm Sunday, because these are events and situations that are being divinely orchestrated. Let me just say that, okay? Thank you, Spirit. But anyway, so with that being said, so just be mindful when you're out traveling, and just, as they say, to not only drive for yourself, but drive for other people as well, too. So just kind of pay attention to your surroundings, your vicinity, what's behind you, in a sense, especially when you're driving, because like I said, this was like an impact that was something was being hit from behind. And I got the feeling when I woke up like it was a car hitting another car from behind. So anyway, the second message came through as if, I see that some people who have been basically in one particular type energy, whether it be them maybe operating more in their masculine energy rather than their feminine energy, I see it that it's coming in a form of, whereas before it showed up as being like one way, in a sense. Like, we are going through this period in this process that so many people are dying to the old ways of doing things, and which is so funny because I'm noticing that these 3 dreams here some way somehow relate to something that is going to wake people up, in a sense, whether it be situations, events, or things happening to the point of kind of getting people's attention, in a sense, is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. So, like the impact of being hit, a car being hit from behind. And then this other one came in a form of, I don't know if you guys remember, but the little headband that I wear that's like tie-dye and it's black and white. I don't know if you remember. If I remember, I should have brought it downstairs. But anyway, so with that being said, I was seeing like tie-dye colors in the dream, and that was just letting me know like some people are really going through the process of really trying to balance their masculine and their feminine energy, especially within their thought process, in a sense, like getting out of the old habit of the way of thinking, like just coming from a place of, patriarch, or, coming from a place of just, I'm right, you're wrong, listen to me, what you're saying is not important, or, my struggle is more of a struggle than your struggle, in any sort of way that somehow was just out of balance, to where it was just about, me, in a sense. It's almost like I'm seeing those energies are going through a death again and a rebirth, in a sense, because the black and the white was showing up as if they were just trying to balance themselves, especially within our thought process. Okay, so that's it for that second dream. So for this third dream, some of you guys may find a situation to where maybe you've dealt with a situation that maybe have pertained to, whether it was just a situation of someone who was like, let's just say an enemy, in a sense. And I say that to say that they could have been coming in a form of as if they were they were crossing boundaries with you as an individual, not only were they crossing boundaries, but they were also trying to manipulate. And not only that, but they was teaching their adult children, and not necessarily saying they was teaching their adult children, but they obviously taught their adult children when they were younger, to the point that the habits had been ingrained into the kids, the adult kids, let's just say who around about my age or whatever, that had been ingrained into the adult kids. So therefore, it was almost in the process of also passing it down even to the grandchildren, should I say. So I say all that to say that some of you guys may have found yourself in a feud with somebody once before. You know, you may not necessarily be there now, but you found yourself in a feud once before where people were just, again, crossing boundaries with you, not respecting your boundaries, and trying to manipulate in some way, shape, or form, trying to take something that wasn't rightfully theirs in a sense. And again, it's almost like I keep hearing manipulation, trying to manipulate in some sort of way. So if you have dealt with a situation like that, pertaining to a situation, whether it was a feminine energy or whether it was a feminine archetype. So again, remember, the feminine energy can come in a male form or a female form. Okay. So with that being said, I saw that Spirit had just kind of brought to my attention that it's almost like I was hearing that this person was gonna pass away in a sense. Okay, so that's not something that we want to be, you know, given. How can I say it? That's not something we want to. What's the word? Thank you, Spirit. That's not something that we want to boast or brag about, because we all know that, especially if our hearts are in the right place. You know, we don't like when people are doing us wrong at the time, but nor does us as individuals, especially if we come from a place of empathy, not necessarily don't wish anybody any ill will. You just basically want them to understand, just basically, hey, back up and leave me alone, or whatever the case may be, because I'm not bothering you in a sense. But you don't, I'm sure, if your heart is in the right place and if you have healed in any sort of way, you wouldn't have, you wouldn't be coming from a place of just wishing somebody ill will. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is part of the reason why God was telling us at the beginning of the year to basically forgive those who have done us wrong, because again, we don't know what this 2022 is bringing for some people. Okay. So that's why it was important to just forgive those people who had done us wrong. Okay. So, but anyway, those are the prophetic messages that I have. But yesterday, oh my God, like Spirit was really speaking. Like I was hearing the songs by the Temptations. Okay. And it was just my imagination. Okay. That was one of the songs. So some of you guys got a situation that you are really, really thinking whether you are the one that's doing this or whether it's somebody thinking about you in a sense. They are really thinking about their life with you in a sense, to the point. Thank you, Spirit. You heard my phone go off, right? So they're really thinking about you to the point that they are just there. Again, I'm gonna just put this song in the description box. So read this, the lyrics to the song. Like they're wanting. They want to be with you. Okay, they're wanting to be with you. Or thank you, you heard that one too, right? They're wanting to be with you, or you're wanting to be with this individual. Again, this new moon is really causing people to die to their old ways. So if you have been somebody who has been suppressing your feelings, you know, towards somebody else, and you had just basically been finding yourself focusing on finding things to distract you and not necessarily being honest with your feelings, it's almost like it's being ripped off with a Band-Aid is what I'm hearing Spirit say. So if you try to cloak it with, you know, trying to work all the time, or if you try to, you heard the noise outside. If you try to cloak it with working all the time, if you try to cloak it with just keeping yourself busy because you didn't want to face your feelings, here at during this time, they are going to be ripped back like that Band-Aid to expose whatever wounds that, you know, you have not been trying to address, or whatever it is that you're trying to been hiding, or whatever it is that you have been trying to suppress because you didn't necessarily want to feel, or you was trying to control the situation in a sense. So again, I will put the song in the description box. So if you want to read the lyrics to the song, because whether you're on the receiving end of this or whether it's someone thinking about you in a sense, you know, I had to even go and look at the lyrics, but anyway, so either which way is beautiful. But anyway, so it's the Temptations, Just My Imagination. And then this second song that came through was Lionel Richie. And I believe that was, My Endless Love. Okay. That has always been a favorite song of mine. I think in the movie Mahogany, was it? So anyway, but Spirit just kept playing those 2 songs yesterday, and actually there was actually was 3 songs yesterday. So, but I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just like a little excited because when I read the lyrics to the words, it's just like, aw. Anyway, so Temptations, Lionel Richie, and then this last one was by the group's Emotion, okay? And the song was You Got the Best of My Love, okay? So again, I'll put all three of those in the description box, so you might want to just go and read it. But here's the thing, I also have this too, because God had actually given me this scripture yesterday. And it's so funny because it is the it is Psalms 23. Okay, so let me say this real quick. Thank you, Spirit. So I hope you're listening to the end. Okay, so it says, a psalm for David. The Lord is my shepherd. So understand that God is really shepherding his people right now. You know, his you want to refer to it as the Israelites, Israel, or the Israelites, the Jews, or however you want to refer to yourself. It doesn't matter. The chosen one. You are God's people right now that he is really trying to shepherd right now, okay? And it says, I shall not want. And just know that as long as God has you covered, you will want for nothing. Yes, well, he will allow us to go through certain situations. He will, because these certain situations are leading up to something better, okay? So it says, he makes me to lie down in green pasture. Oh my God, I can definitely tell you, I felt like I was being, on this first part of my journey in 2018, I felt like I was being made to sit down in the dirt, you know, like almost like a way to humble myself in a sense. And it's almost like being taken off your throne, where I felt like I was on a throne at first, and then all of a sudden I felt like I was being taken off of a throne and being made to go to the dirt to just sit there, okay? It's almost like I felt like I had fell from grace in a sense, okay? So I know some of us have went through these different trial situations and all these other things that it seems like, oh my God, can life get any worse? You know, they're all leading up to something beautiful, okay? That's what I'm hearing, something beautiful. So if you could just trust and keep the faith, and not only that, but stay patient, and just know that in due time, just know that whatever it is that God has for you, it's going to be built on a solid and a firm foundation, okay? Not like how it was before, but even on a better one. Okay, so we may have to lie down in that green pasture that we don't want to, but thank God that we have a shepherd who is leading us and guiding us. That's the beautiful part about it, because he is ordering everything. So I'd rather know that he's ordering everything rather than just knowing that things are happening in my life and he's not ordering anything. I think that makes it a little bit more confusing. But anyway, so it says he leads me beside the still water. He's not gonna leave you alone. He's leading you and he is guiding you, okay? He's leading you and guiding you through your trials and your tribulations, okay? And just know that what does not kill us makes us stronger, okay? And that's what he's just trying to get us to a point to. And then 3 says, he restoreth my soul. That's what he is doing. He is allowing each and every one of us, by going through our different situations, you know, that sometimes we have to go through, thank you, Spirit. Sometimes we have to go through certain things, you know, so that way we have a testimony. And us having a testimony, we are able to help other people through their situations. So just know that, yes, he is restoring our soul. He's restoring our soul back to, our authentic selves, who we were meant to be before all of our hurt experiences. So whether we was, you know, cloaking and masking ourselves and hiding our feelings, or, you know, might have had addictions, or may have had coming from a place of being hurt, he's releasing all of that. This is what he's going through, a cleansing. He's restoring our soul by taking us through a cleansing, okay? So the cleansing process is necessary, okay? It's almost like Jesus, you know, he had to be cleansed. He even allowed John the Baptist to baptize him, okay? So we all have to be cleansed in some sort of way. And it says, he restoreth my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness. God is not going to mislead you. And just know one thing for sure, his word cannot come back void, okay? So I say all that to say, if he promised you something, he's going to deliver it to you. But it's just a matter of being patient. It's not our timing, it's God's timing. And that's what we have to remember. And then 4 says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, oh my God, I just talked about what? A lot of people are going through a birth and a re-death situation, dying to the old way of doing things. And we having to renew our minds, renewing our hearts, renewing our bodies, renewing our souls, and most of all, renewing our spirits, okay? So because we can't operate again the same way that we was operating before, in a sense. You know, our shadow, we have to go through the shadow side, because without, it's almost like you can't just have the good without not having the bad. So how would you ever know that things were good if you never experienced the bad, if that makes sense? So it says, I will fear no evil. And at this point in time, God has told some of you, and I've even mentioned some time before, and this message isn't, you know, it just depends on where you are at on your journey, because I know some people may feel like, and I'm actually hearing somebody say, well, I don't feel protected right now. But with that being said, it just depends on where you're at on your journey, because again, we're all learning different lessons. We're all at different stages on our journey. And not only that, but at some point in time, when you get to a certain level or a certain stage on your journey, yes, you will start to feel protected in a sense, and God will reveal that you are protected. Okay. So with that being said, God doesn't want you to fear anything, absolutely nothing. You know, if somebody's threatening you in some sort of way, I'm not saying to not literally take that threat as serious, but you know, to the point of just trusting God and know, you know, I serve a good God. He, you know, he told me that his word would not come back void. As long as you remember his words, you know, his words can't come back void. So with that being said, who should I fear? We should fear nobody but God, okay? Not man, but God. And then it says, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Okay, so that's what you need to remember, that, you know, that God is with you always. The rod and your staff, it comforts me. Okay, your rod to me is a representation of, you know, sometimes, you know, we may get out of line. We may feel a certain type of way about somebody, because let's just say hypothetically, as an example, somebody may have done us wrong, as I said, and we may feel a certain type of way, and that's okay too. You know, it's okay for us to feel what it is that we're feeling, but God does not want us to stay there in that feeling. He wants us to honor our feelings, but he doesn't necessarily want us to act on it or hold on it too long, okay? But he doesn't also want us to brush it underneath the rugs. Thank you, Spirit. He wants us to acknowledge our feelings. Yes, if somebody has hurt us, we acknowledge the fact that somebody hurt us and that we don't like the way that we felt when we were being hurt, in a sense. But at the same time, once you have gotten through that process, it's almost like God wants you to understand that, okay, now that I have acknowledged I don't like how that feels, so I know not to necessarily allow myself to be in that situation to be done like that again, in other words. So you see, that's almost a form of his rod and his staff that comforts us, because yes, God will allow these certain situations for people to treat us a certain type of way, so that way that we can change our mindsets. And I know, as hard as that may sound, you're like, well, why would God allow this? God takes us through these trainings because it makes us stronger. It makes us stronger, okay, as individual people, okay? So just know and understand, just like Jesus had to go through tests, we all have to go through tests, okay? And yes, God does check back in just to let you know, and just to see later down the road whether you've learned your lesson, because he will allow it to come back up again, because I lied to you not. This energy that's here in March this year, I'm noticing that it was the same energy last year around about the same time, dealing kind of like with somewhat with, I can definitely tell that God is basically testing, should I say, because it's almost like different players, but almost trying to see, okay, are you going to respond the same way you did last year? You know, when certain things were taking place, you heard that, right? When certain things were taking place. So I just want to let you know that. So yes, God will check back in, and he will test you just to see, you know, even as time goes on, because he just wants to know, hey, let's see how much of you've learned. Are you going to keep resulting the same way? Are you going to have a different mindset, or are you going to, you know, just turn away and act like it doesn't even bother, not act like, but because it's not phasing you or it's not bothering you. So I'm just letting you know, and those are just ways to just see. And thank you, Spirit. And I'm hearing Spirit say those are just ways to just let you see just how much you have evolved yourself as well too. So, and it says 5, you prepare the tables before me. Okay, so God is definitely preparing the tables. We don't know where we're going to head on this journey. You know, we know that there are things that God has showed us, and that's him preparing that table for us. Okay, not us preparing the tables. This is how we know it's going to be long lasting, because God is preparing the table and not you this time, because I know so many people's foundations have come crumbling down, including my own back in 2018. So many people's foundations have come crumbling down, and they came crumbling down for a reason, because those are things that we have built. Now, does that say that he's going to allow your home maybe that you may have? There may be some people that may have to move out of their homes. There may be some people who may have to, sell some things. There may be some people who may lose some things in the process. It just depends on how much you are attached to those certain things, will determine whether you have them or not, or whatever, or whether you're, just releasing control like God has asked you to, and not necessarily holding on to these items as if they're, you're idol worshiping in a sense. And that's not me judging. That's just what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. So anyway, 5 says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Oh my God, like everything that he has for you, I'm hearing there was a setback for a great comeback is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. So I say all that to say, yes, God is preparing a table in the presence of your enemies. As a matter of fact, there has been some enemies who has tried to manipulate, in a sense, like pull themselves up to the table and trying to eat at your table, in a sense. And it's almost like without them not even being welcome. It's almost like with them trying to alter time and alter, going into other dimensions to try to I'm hearing play God, in a sense. Like that's what I'm hearing. Okay. So I say all that to say that he's preparing a place in the presence of your enemies. Okay. Meaning that your enemies are going to watch you. They're gonna watch you. Okay, let me just say that. Thank you, Spirit. So and then it says in the presence of my enemies, and most of all, he anoints your head with oil. He anoints your head with oil. Oh my God, like think about the oil as being the blood of Jesus. Okay, and he anoints my head with oil, and your cup will runneth over. Your cup overflows. Your cup overflows. Let me say it again. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup runs over. Okay? Exceedingly and abundantly. This is me saying that part. I'm not adding to the Bible. I'm just saying that I'm saying exceedingly as abundantly is what I'm hearing. So yes, he will allow your cup to overflow. I can't remember, but I know that there was somebody in the Bible where she had no job, she had no money, but somehow God told her to put all these jars out, if I'm remembering the story correctly, and he anointed those jars to the point that her jars were overflowing. If you think about the jars that they had to, pour water into, or whether it's water or whether it's oil, nevertheless, that's the image that's coming to my mind. Like he will overflow you, like the oil just kept overflowing, exceedingly and abundantly. Anyway, so 6 says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, and that you shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever. Okay? So as the chosen ones of God, should I say, he knows that you would dwell in the house of the Lord forever, because he knows that your heart is in the right place. So with that being said, for those of you who may feel like, thank you, Spirit. For those of you who may feel like, oh my God, well, I've had this going on in my past, or I've been this way, and so on, and God can't possibly choose me. Well, just know that God has chosen his people, should I say. He has chosen his people. Why? Because he knows their hearts. Okay? If you think about it, God searches everybody's heart, and he knows your heart. Thank you, Spirit. You heard that right. He knows your heart deep down underneath. Again, everything that you have from generational patterns to generational habits to even your early childhood of just things that you have done along the way that just have allowed you to basically, cloak yourself in order to be able to survive in this world, by wearing a false mask, in a sense. Basically he knows underneath all of that stuff. He knows your heart, okay? That's all that matters. So with that being said, you guys can go back and read Psalms 23 yourself, Psalms 23:1, and just know, again, that God's word cannot come back void. So I'm wishing you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. And remember to be safe this weekend, not just this weekend, but every weekend. But like I said, just be mindful of the energy this weekend. So remember to always keep God first and foremost, and always to keep Christ. Keep him first, should I say. Because again, I know. Thank you, Spirit, because I know we coming up on Palm Sunday, and it's not just about Palm Sundays, but you know, it's just about giving respect where respect is due, should I say? Because without him, we wouldn't be chosen, should I say? So, with all that being said, have a blessed weekend. Much love, much light, and I love you all. And I say peace and blessings. Bye.